But it's also just really helpful to be like, oh, it's not just me. Oh, I'm not just a failure mistake of a human. Actually, my brain works in this particular way, and understanding that I can do these other things and just address the places where I struggle and understand my, what's it called? Where you wait too long to do things. Procrastination.
There you go.
Is a superpower sometimes. It's also a disability at other times. But, I figure out where I can work with it and where I cannot. And it would be incredible if I could, say, publish training posts and start promoting workshops more than 10 days before we were going to offer them. But that's just not a thing I've been able to do, despite years of effort.
And we are you know what? We're doing a podcast. Welcome to Strategy and Solidarity Pod, the podcast, an act of revolutionary defiance, an act and celebration. I don't know what I'm saying. That's not how it goes. I don't know why I pulled it up, but you know what? Welcome. Welcome.
If you had just gone with it, nobody would have noticed or probably cared.
I lost my place in the sentence, and I was reading it, and I don't know what just happened. Welcome to Strategy and Solidarity Pod, the podcast, an act of revolutionary defiance and celebration of the things that bring us comfort, solace, and joy as we work to reclaim our humanity. Together, I am your co-host, Carlos Kareem Wyndham.
And I'm Theresa Logan.
And here we are.
How's your nervous system doing today, Carlos?
Hey, Theresa, my nervous system is just fine. Very.
Yeah?
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road. Feeling resourced and regulated and coping well with what life throws at you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Good.
Sure. Yeah. No, yeah. I think so. Yeah. How did your nervous system
cope with the holiday of Bang Bang?
Well, I had asked you, how's your nervous system?
Improv is not your strength. You really would be like Michael Scott, just pulling out a gun every time. Just refusing to go with the flow of anyone else's. No, yes, and.
Yes, I did. Yes,
my script and do it the way I scripted it.
I asked. I was trying to get around it.
Doing fine. Yeah. I just found there's a dead bird in my yard, and apparently in Multnomah County you can call them, and if it's a certain kind of bird, they'll come get it for you, but only if it's a crow or a jay or some other kind of corvid, because they have West Nile virus, and they want to make sure the birds aren't dying of West Nile virus. Now this bird, I'm pretty sure, was killed by a cat because there's a bunch of feral cats around. And I thought it was an owl at first. It looked like an owl, but I think it's some kind of woodpecker. I didn't recognize it. It doesn't look like a bird that I recognize. But it had very long,
it's an
pointy
alien
beak and like brown and white mottled feathers and a small head, not a giant head. So I did some research, and I think it was a woodpecker. So they're not going to come pick it up from me. But if you're in Multnomah County or somewhere else, it's good to know that if you find a dead bird, don't touch it. The county might come get it for you. They also had a rodent control option on there, just in case anyone were struggling with such a thing, that you might call them and see if they can provide support.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my public service announcement for the day.
Public service announcements. Public service announcements. I think that's the song.
How did your nervous system cope with the holiday of Bang Bang, also known as the 4th of July here in the United States? And it's a week now, at least. I mean, I think it's at least a week where people are shooting off illegal giant fireworks every night.
Yeah, it usually is a week, a few days prior, and many up to a week after, although they're not entertaining themselves for any long extended periods of time with it right now. I don't know. I don't.
Is it your favorite holiday?
Much mind. I don't care about it one way or the next. And it's taken me a long time to get to that. It used to be a thing that I had to feel some kind of protestation around or whatever. And I think that was just learning to get over it, right? Like breaking up with somebody or something. And at this point, knowing about or thinking about it or sports in any way other than an abstract thing that happens and then there's noise outside, like, I don't know. It's okay.
Did you use to like make signs and picket people's like holiday cookouts, or like how did you protest?
Oh, we would when I was in my 20s, I would produce fuck the fourth shows, and we would have fuck the fourth cookouts, and just not, just don't fuck with it.
Still like on the 4th,
It would still be on the fourth, which
but
is
just
part
making
of
sure
what
people knew
got,
how you felt about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and still very much what got to the feeling of like, what I don't know, I don't want to be involved with this at all. I don't care about this. It's not to do with me one way or the next, and whatever. Yeah. How about yours?
Um, we went to a wedding, and then at the
Hey,
last minute, we drove over the river to meet my mother to stand on a bridge and watch the fireworks from that they shoot off a boat in the middle of the river with my kids, which was nice. It's like nice to be out in the world with other people who are doing things and like no one was doing anything crazy. It's like, oh look, we're people all doing what people do, walking out onto a bridge to look at something. Like we just want to look at pretty things and enjoy ourselves and connect with people. It's really all we want as humans when we're not being forced to extract and exploit for profit for the billionaires.
for survival. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you not celebrate the 4th of July as a child? You don't like the
Uh,
fireworks and things when you were a kid?
no, I was mandated into America. So I did the things that suburban families are meant to. I don't um give a shit about it. I mean, honestly, I saw the last time I went to a fireworks show with any intention, I was 11, and then that I went to one at all. I was in my mid 30s with my at the time 6-year-old niece who's now in their 20s. And I really don't. I mean, I'm happy to hear about whatever you did and whatever it means, but I have no relationship to it. The fourth, I mean, I don't care about the Frederick Douglass speech. I don't care about any of it. I don't care.
No.
It's moot.
Yeah.
No, but
Okay. Well, good conversation.
well, I just don't know it. I don't, it's not my thing. I don't know. It's like asking me about like Canada Day. Like, I don't, oh yeah? Okay.
I mean, except
Did
you
you
live in
eat
the US and not in
maple
Canada.
things?
Except you live here and it's happening all around you whether you care about it or not.
Yeah, but if you stay to yourself in your home and like you're not paying any attention, who cares? You know, I don't do Thanksgiving
Sure.
either. It's not, it's not for or to do with me. It's against me, in fact. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't, Father's Day. Like I'm a two spirit parent. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Why am I here? Can
No.
I go home? You know what I mean?
No, I don't. You
No,
don't like
I don't
Father's
know.
Day?
No, no, and I don't think fathers need to be celebrated. I do not think that that is a thing that anyone needs to be doing.
I do remember taking my kids to look for a card for their father for Father's Day one year. It wasn't this year because we didn't do anything. But it was like looking through the cards, the greeting cards. It's like, where's the one that's like, well, you gave me life, So that's something. Like, they're like, thanks for being the best dad. I can always count on you. It's like my kids are like, no, I can't. None of these cards are accurate.
Right.
It's like, well, you gave me life, and you're still around. So that's something. that's that's the kind of Father's Day card they need. You're a fabulous parent. I mean, I know you are a two-spirit
Parents are
person, but you
wonderful.
still seem like you are the father of your child.
Parents are wonderful. And I, you know, and it's not to be a curmudgeon. I think there's just something about the trying to be consistent. You know what I mean? And like being, I don't know, it feels like ethically consistent for me. Like I cannot. There's nothing celebratory about this country. The colors, the flag, all of it disgust me. Um, frighten me at best. Make me feel at least like I have some very serious questions about whoever the fuck is flying that at this point and why. If you're dressed like it, then I know you're a hypocrite. Like I'm done. We don't even need to talk because I did grow up in a time in a neighborhood where I know what the rules are about flags. Like I grew up after Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like you do not supposed to ever cut a flag into underwears and bikinis and all kind of shit like that. That's actually against the law. I don't know why they sell it wherever they sell it. That I guess Walmart, I'm guessing. Uh,
I mean, it's a print. They didn't cut up an actual flag to make their bikini, I don't think.
it is the print.
But on
It
principle,
is, yeah. Well, on
it should
principle and
not be
by
anywhere
the
but on the flag.
regulations of the flag itself.
Oh,
If it touches
okay.
the ground, you're supposed to burn it. If like
Oh,
if it is
if it
out
touches the ground, you're
after,
supposed to burn it.
if it touches the ground, it is not to be hung again. It
Why?
is. I don't know. These are
I
just
don't know
things
any
I
of
know.
this.
If it is after dusk, it must be lit, and it
Were
must be
you
lit
on flag
appropriately.
patrol at school?
I certainly was. If
Were you
if
by requirement
there's
or you volunteered?
I think it was just something to volunteer for. There's
You
a way
liked
to
all the
fold
rules,
the
didn't you?
flag.
You liked all the
Um,
rules.
I don't know that I did. When I went to public school, I was already old and autistic, and I did not know how to exist in a place where they weren't going to tell me the rules. And at least at Flag Patrol, it was like, okay, we'll do this, 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 and this, and it was like, okay, I could do those things. But yeah, no, I mean that, and I know that for veterans, like it is very fucking serious, and so for me, and this applies to much of the things that happen on that side of the world and the false binary that we've chosen. The things that I see them do are stand so wildly diametrically opposed to what they are meant to be doing that it's like, bruh, I don't want to hear about your flag. I don't want to hear about your pledge. I don't want to hear about Jesus from you. I don't want to hear about the shape of the earth. You're walking around in a flag polo. That lets me know everything I need to know about anything that you have ever investigated or reflected on in the world. I'm good. We don't need to. I'm good.
I think they're allergic to actual investigation and research.
Well, and self reflection, that's the part
Or
I'm
that
like,
also.
rumination. What about rumination? Just go sit and think.
Nope. Just be right and weaponize anything you get your hands on to be right if you're ever at risk of being wrong.
Right about what?
Pretty sure
What
that's
are
it.
we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how about go read a book? Go read it.
People
Go
still
sit
do
down in a
that.
coffee shop and just go read a book. Go do
No,
that.
that would be liberal elitism.
What's a
Liberal elites read books in coffee shops.
then go to a library
MAGAs drink beer in the back of pickup trucks
and in the garages.
and their
Um,
garages.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
Or
in the same
probably
way that
very expensive, like whiskey or something, in their boardrooms.
where there are no books. Uh, I mean, you
just
know,
to just to catch ourselves in self-reflection. We were talking about this a little bit in the community. This whole trope of like all the mega supporters are kind of like um illiterate, uneducated, working class white people, and it's like there are plenty of them that fall in that category, but there's also a lot of people with wealth and power who have allowed
yeah,
this
no,
to continue.
yeah, you're talking about MAGA believers and MAGA supporters, right? The oligarchy, the MAGA supporters who will use them because it just puts more money in their pockets, which is why they love the uneducated. Because if you say stupid shit like "I'm too dumb to vote," you just did, and what you just voted for is to fuck yourself, and so they'll let you, and they're going to take your money, and they're going to give it to their rich friends and themselves. Uh, so there you go. There you go.
Because that's what they're, extracting and exploiting. They're just turning them into their minions,
Yeah, I still don't get what they. Well,
but not the cute
well,
ones, not the
I'm
cute
not from.
minions.
I'm not from that side of the world. Again, I don't
What side of the
understand what
world?
the one where you would have a politics of deception founded and rooted in prosthetic pain and history, and such that you get to always be the victim of whatever, and so that you're always in fear of whomever, and it, like what what why huh, do you know what I mean? It's just again, it's like for the fourth for me, with the fourth for me, I'm like, what are you, what's happening? I don't get how, in what way, for instance, having trans athletes come in fifth invalidates anybody else's opportunity to do anything in the world.
It doesn't.
So who gives a shit? Like, what are we doing? I'm just, it's so baffling to me. Like, and it's,
Making
yeah.
people afraid of people who are already marginalized and vulnerable and present no risk to them, so that they won't pay attention to the people actually fleecing their pockets and robbing them of their and their children's futures.
But they know. I mean, we're all experiencing this. That's the part. It's like, your eggs aren't cheaper than mine. Your red gas isn't cheaper than mine.
We
Like,
do not
what
live
are
in
we
the same
doing?
reality. We do not share the same reality.
Who,
Like
you
we
and
just
I?
don't know, us and like the mega folks. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
we don't share the same reality. Theirs is very curated by propaganda, and
Well,
there's
yeah.
always
And
an
isolation.
explanation and abuse. Right? It's like being married to a narcissistic abuser or something. Like there's always gaslighting and always weaponizing and always a story to explain and always a reason why they're right and everybody else is wrong.
No.
It's
Well,
not,
and
there's
then
no
it,
logic. There's not, I mean, that's the thing that makes it so challenging to engage with any of them, is there's not really any shared foundation on which to engage in conversation or discussion or deliberation. Like there is no shared foundation of reality from which to build.
yeah. Yeah. And it's a
I
small
haven't
number,
tried
but
in a
they're a
very long
pain
time,
in the butt. Well, it's, I don't see what the
but I
point
did
is
try
if
a
they're
lot.
still involved.
Tried a
Uh,
lot between 2016 to about 2019, probably.
God bless you. I think during that time I was just giving people permission to voice their fears and anger.
Hmm.
But yeah, no,
I
it's
tried. It was like a puzzle to solve. What if I try this strategy? What if I try that strategy? What about this? What about that? I tried it online. I tried it in person. It was like green eggs and ham, but like they never would take a bite. They didn't believe.
I would
not as
advise not
persistent
doing
as
that
Sam I
either
am.
because we do not have anybody inspecting the food anymore. So I wouldn't
Don't need the
be
green eggs and
eating
ham.
green eggs or ham. Or do whatever.
But it's
I
just
mean,
like
just
human rights and, true love. Like, they're like, oh no, get it away from me. And
just
now what?
everything top to bottom is just so topsy turvy. Like you're walking around in masks. We could not shove you into a mask when it would actually help anything. And it's
Those were their
125
couture
degrees, and now
KKK
you're
hoods.
walking around in your Bass sponsored KKK outfit. That like what?
In the Capitol, for anyone who doesn't know what we're referring to, you can see pictures of them, the white supremacists who marched on DC.
Oh, everyone's seen that by now. AP put that out. Associated Press put that out. I saw it being broadcast in London. The whole world knows how ridiculous
There are
and
people who
rogue.
don't watch the news. So just in case someone didn't
Oh,
know, I was just
Americans, you mean?
clarifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
For any of our potential listeners who we're not trying to insult, just trying to clarify for those of us not, inside
Americans
your
who should
brain,
pay attention to the news. Oh.
what we were talking about. So we don't all see the big screen inside of your brain with all the connections.
Yeah, it is wild to look at the straight contradictions that have if nothing else, born a reality where Gen Z far and away uh prefers both what's the kind of voting, ranked choice voting, and prefers democratic socialism to any of the nonsense that they've been hearing from any uh of the candidates for anything. um that is very hopeful. That said, when they chart these generational shifts, which they've been charting since there were teenagers, right? And so we're talking about since the 50s and the 60s, and and since those folks were a voting bloc who were also being used as the warrior bloc. What has equally happened is that those with power have done whatever they need to just shore it up, and that's why they have so much of it now. But the populace that we live with, the people, as you said, uh, are not in favor of. I don't think the people are by and large rogue, so much as the government is rogue at this stage. I heard Mitch McConnell's dead.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard that they are pretending he's alive, but that the reason that his wife left the country is because then they can't sign the death certificate, and so she's going to stay gone until the voting happens, and then they can send a proxy in for him and hold their power with a corpse, which
Okay. This is a theory based on reasonable speculation, but not verified, confirmed reports. Is that correct?
this is a theory born of a lot of speculation, some insider reporting and leaking, and actions that were taken that defy any other explanation or reasoning,
Because no
such
one's
as
seen him in a
why
while.
you would leave the country at the same time that it is being announced that he is not ever coming back to the Senate. And they announced that as he's brain dead, which is like, well, okay.
He's brain dead. He's sitting
He's brain dead in that
somewhere.
dead ass body. Yeah, they that's what they said yesterday. Laura Loomer was like, "Oh, he's brain dead. He's not coming back to the floor ever." And it's like, well, okay. I'm sure they did not want you saying that, because now we need an explanation for why his wife left.
I don't. I don't really care. Good for him.
Well, unless you're trying to see the government actually function or get from under the
You're right.
claw of McConnell.
Okay.
It could happen.
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah.
How's your nervous system?
It was better before that conversation, but mostly fine. Um, what's bringing you joy? Apart from the dead bird, my yard continues to bring me joy. And I will say I don't feel a whole lot of allegiance to the stars and stripes in these United States. I think it's world domination power that's done a lot of harm and doesn't need to continue to exist. I do think we should consider some form of secession or breaking up the union. But at this point in time, here we are, and I'll continue to do what I can to make where we are as survivable as possible for those it matters most for. I do feel a lot of allegiance to like the land I live on, just because it's where I'm from. Even despite the complicated relationship of being a descendant of immigrants and colonizers. Um, I don't. I mean, are poor, starving people colonizers? I'm never quite sure when is a word appropriate, when is it not. Certainly settlers.
Squatters. Yeah.
Sure, that works. And yet I'm not from anywhere else, and I am from here, so I do feel a lot of allegiance to like the place that I'm from and how to be in right relationship with the land and the people, and that's what I feel allegiance to, and like the earth. But the stars and stripes, it's just where we are now. I don't know.
No, it's all bad. That part of it. The faux patriotism and the real patriotism. It's just like, what are you doing?
I mean, we're all on one planet. What happens in one place impacts everybody everywhere else. Like,
yeah, there was this.
I don't think we want a global bureaucracy. That doesn't sound great, but figuring out how to live in ways that are more about taking care of people and the planet and less about defending the exceptionalism of our national boundaries and the mythology of our national identity would be nice. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I watched this reel of these young kids, uh, young black kids leaving a grocery store with an immigrant worker. As folks were leaving, would say "Happy 4th," and 201, there was like, "Nigga, what? Fuck you, and fuck that. You want to play?" Like the reactions were wild, but it wouldn't. Happy 4th was not one. Hope you enjoy the fireworks. That was not how anybody responded, and that was heartening. That was heartening.
Were you
That gave me
heartened
some joy.
by the failure of all of his American carnival fair, whatever things that all flopped and got rained out? And
You talking about Big Orange?
yeah.
I again paid so drastically little attention that I don't.
Oh,
uh
usually you track all of that and care.
Yeah, after the wrestle match, um, Fonzie jumped the shark during the last days of Happy Days, and America jumped the shark when it committed necromancy and pulled Fonzie's ghost out of the ground to start jumping cycles over the White House lawn uh, that weekend before the wrestling match happened. Uh, and once I
Is the
saw that,
term jumping the shark actually from a Happy Days episode where he was water skiing and literally jumped over a shark in the episode?
absolutely,
Okay. Did that
absolutely.
happen on the White House lawn with his exhumed corpse?
I don't know who was in the outfit. I couldn't tell. They did actually wear a helmet, which I'm surprised by considering how little they care for regulations.
They wore a helmet to do what?
Jump motorcycles on the White House lawn
They jumped
before.
motorcycles over the White House lawn. I didn't
Oh,
see that.
yeah. See, you, yeah.
See,
Yes.
you
Again,
don't
this is
care,
one
but
of
I
these
really
true
don't pay
things.
attention.
Yeah. This is what, well, that was the
I
thing
don't
that
care more than
between that and arresting the canoe man for picking out a piece of what looked like, Smurf skin, like from some weird, gross foot soak out of the tub, and then saying that he had violently attacked something. Because it's impossible to just say, hey, yeah, Trump hired this scumbag to turn what is not a swimming pool into one, and it didn't work because they drove an entire caravan of cars over it and
and then
cracked
dumped
it
a whole
before
bunch
they
of
did that
hydrogen peroxide inside of it.
because they don't know what they're doing. And so they don't know nothing and they're dumb. And you can't say that, right? Like all the rest of it is permissible. The falling asleep publicly, the falling asleep at your own fireworks show and your own man WrestleMania event, you can do that, right? Because even in the White House, because what you're showing is that you're so important, you don't have to care. Like you give a shit. That's why, like, he woke up in the press conference and went right back to sleep. Like, ha ha, he might not even been asleep. It's like this will destabilize shit more. So that I don't care about. But the idea that he was going to have a successful state fair on the White House lawn, on the mall. I did hear that the X-Men leader Storm showed up and blew off most of the tents that were trying to stand back up.
And Oregon, among other states, did not go and declined the invitation to participate, which, one more thing that makes
We had one.
No, we declined to participate. We did not go.
We had an
Every
invitation though.
Every state was invited.
For real.
Yes.
So you know way more about this one than me. This felt like more of the Americana shit. I was just like, I'm out. I'm not doing 250 nothing. I'm not with
Oregon
this.
And at least 6 other states initially, maybe more. Since
who was selling the $15 hot dogs?
I don't know. I know that the Ferris wheel kept losing power, and it was the only ride on the mall at their so-called fair. They only had a Ferris wheel, and it kept losing power.
Hot. I saw the dancers dancing to some racist song almost get crushed by the stage when it fell down.
Apparently, he now is a curse on all sports teams. Did you follow this whole red card World Cup thing?
I only learned about this morning. So when you're okay, are we switching events now? Because again, I don't know what happened relative to what, because I know as little about the World Cup as I do about the mall celebration.
We could probably just keep talking about it and find out. As if this was a conversation instead of a script you think exists that does not.
No, I'm asking, did it happen was it all the same thing?
An American men's national team soccer player, known as a football player to the rest of the world, with the Nigerian name on the American team, was given a red card for something in a different game, and then he had a 1-game suspension, and there was a lot of being like, oh, that didn't seem fair. It should have been a yellow card instead of red card, but there's some virtual referee thing. And then Trump called the director of FIFA and was like, that red card wasn't fair. You should take it back. And then they did. And then the whole world said, boo! And they said, that's dumb. How are you going to change a call because Trump asked for it? And then they lost horrifically in their next game where he got to play. And so now they're saying that he has the opposite of a Midas touch, that everything he touches turns to shit, including sports teams, because the only game the Knicks lost in the championships was the one he attended and something else, the Ryder Cup or something, he went, and then the US lost real bad. So anytime he shows up at a sports match, whatever team he supposedly supports is going to lose because he brings death and destruction to everything he touches, and failure, extreme failure.
Okay, so yeah, so Messi did get a red card still and held the
Messi?
red card. Uh and
Is he playing?
I'm
That's not
literally just looking at a
who I
headline.
was talking about.
No, I know because you were talking about Balogun, and Balogun, who plays for the US. Okay, got a red card, but then it got turned over. But Messi got a red card once, and it did not get turned over because that would be against the rules under Article 27. So what they did is they did not actually take it back. The red card stands. I'll take that. But but he was still allowed to play, which makes it not a red card, I guess. Because what the hell
I don't know
are
any of the rules.
we
I
saying?
just explained all of this to the best of
I
my
know.
knowledge.
Red card means
it.
you're out for the rest, and he wasn't.
It was a one-game suspension. The red card was from a previous game. They lifted it to allow him to play in the next game.
Okay, so
Which
yeah,
they
the red
lost
card
anyway,
stood, but
and
the
Belgium laughed with great glee
they
as
should.
they beat them 4-1 or whatever it was. But
They
I was right. According to Wikipedia, he was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Yoruba Nigerian parents. His parents were living in London and visited New York when his mother was 7 months pregnant with him. Airline staff did not allow her to board the family's return flight to London due to safety concerns over the advanced state of her pregnancy, and he was born in New York. He returned to the UK with his parents when he was 2 months old and grew up in London. So he's also one of the people
baby.
Trump wants to take citizenship away from,
He's
even
a
though
soccer anchor baby.
He's advocating for him as the star player of our soccer team, though.
And he's got a British accent.
Probably like to strip birthright citizenship away from.
These outfits are horrible. I would not have guessed in a million years that was the American team. That is just bad. Who designed this shit? We really need more queer people involved with the Olympics again. This looks bad.
I love that it's more the global sport than like American football or something, but I still don't pay any attention to any of the sports.
Oh, it's supposed to be the flag.
It's so slow. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm not looking at it with you.
I'm looking at their jerseys that they wore. It looks like the Hamburglar, except it's red and white. And I was like, what the hell is this even? And then I found a still, and it's red and white and wavy, and it's supposed to be the American flag. But because they are always bent and moving and running around, it just looks like they're running around in a stripy shirt, and it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, that's not attractive.
No, it's bad. Super bad.
Ugh.
Yup.
No wonder they lost.
They deserve to lose.
Fashion fail.
Running around dressed like that. Asshole.
That's terrible.
What happened to the guy who was from Iraq and he wasn't allowed to?
Should we spend more time talking about things that neither of us care about, or should we?
No, let's talk about things we do care
about.
Because now I have a whole special interest hole that I'm falling into that I had no interest in at all.
That's now your special interest?
Evidently.
Interesting.
Because now I'm looking to see
the ADHD trap.
What is happening? Okay, stop. Hi.
Please. Thank you.
Hi there.
All right. Well, what's something relevant to strategy and solidarity that we do care about?
Well, I got very distracted by that. I went to. This is good. You know what this is? This is good podcasting, and this is a good podcast.
This is why maybe you need a script.
This is a good podcast. I said that. I said that in all honesty to a friend who I had gone to breakfast with this morning, which I had categorized initially as a breakfast meeting, and I realized as I was gathering myself to go that it was not, in fact, a meeting, and I had just been invited to breakfast. And I was
It
so
was just
very
like a
proud.
social engagement.
Right. And I was like, oh, look at me getting ready to go out the house and I'm going to have a social engagement. And good for me, because that is how you build real solidarity. And then I thought, how long does this last? How do I know when it's over? Um,
Because you did not enjoy the company of the person you went to
no,
breakfast
I
with?
like them quite a
Or
lot.
just because
I
you're an
just,
awkward autistic and you don't know what the rules are?
that's it. But
Yeah.
I did tell them that at the beginning of the breakfast. And it allowed me to actually just be there and be
I can
present
see you
as
just getting like
me.
vicariously uncomfortable just talking about it in this moment.
Yeah, no, well, I did. I had to just be like, so yeah, I did not. I thought we were having a meeting or something last time. So I just want to be clear. I understand this to be a social engagement. I am here to socialize now. Uh,
That's so smooth. Not awkward at all. Very clear
it felt
expectations and
good. It felt
boundaries though.
real good in the moment
Did they just
doing it
look at
now.
you perplexed?
No, they laughed and bumped my shoulder like I said something hilarious. And
That's a secret to comedy. You just say awkward things as an autistic person, and the neurotypicals laugh.
I don't know if it's everybody's, but it certainly seems to be mine because I just see things that are facts and then I spin them off into like, if that's true, wouldn't it be wild if? And then I can come up with my own conclusion. But um,
The
or I'll
wildest,
take
most
or I'll take
extreme,
like
exaggerated one
12
possible.
or I'll take like 12 different quotes that are all true quotes and mash them into one giant quote.
Yeah.
Uh that and as though that
I
happened
love
all at
that,
once.
unlike a magician, you like to give away all of your secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't give a shit. Nobody's still gonna be able to do it. Um I can barely do it. Yeah, no, I did. I had to because I was like, oh fuck, right? It's like when I realized that like uh um my friend, our former coworker Sandy is my friend, and I didn't know that until somebody who had seen me at a show said, "Yeah, no, you're Sandy's friend, right?" And I was, and all I could think was, "Well, that's my theater friend." And I was like, "Wait, are we just like friends? Friends? What? Hold on, hold on, back it up." And then had to like play it through in my mind. I'm like, "Shit, I got friends," and it was very. I'm healing. I'm healing. But we had breakfast and we had that conversation, but that brought me some joy.
There's all this like, and usually from people who themselves are not yet diagnosed with whatever they may be diagnosed with someday, but all this like, everyone thinks I have a diagnosis because of social media, blah, 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 blah. And I certainly was part of that script before I got my ADHD diagnosis. By and large, I find it's really helpful to be able to just have a framework for understanding yourself and other people. I think there's a risk of overdiagnosing everyone you run across and feeling like you can immediately categorize everyone based on very minimal
No,
interactions with them. That seems problematic, though I think we do quite a lot of it. But it's also just really helpful to be like, oh, it's not just me. Oh, I'm not just a failure mistake of a human. Actually, my brain works in this particular way, and understanding that I can do these other things and just address the places where I struggle and understand my what's it called? Where you wait too long to do things.
procrastination.
Procrastination
There you go.
is a superpower sometimes. It's also a disability at other times. But I figure out where I can work with it and where I cannot. And it would be incredible if I could say, publish training posts and start promoting workshops more than 10 days before we were going to offer them. But that's just not a thing I've been able to do despite years of effort. And yeah, I mean, when did you come to know yourself as an autistic person, whether that was or wasn't with an official diagnosis, and what difference did it make in your life for navigating these kinds of things?
um, I think for me, because I have ADHD, it has helped me understand both why I get the same pitch of um, injustice alarm, whether somebody cuts me off in line or somebody tries to take over a country. That for me, those both read as like, oh no. And what can I do about this? And if I can't do something about it, I'm going to say something about it. Um, and also to understand why it feels that way to me, because part of the frustration and the rage that used to be behind it was that it felt and seemed like, um, why are people being so stupid? You can't treat people like this, you asshole. Stop it. And learning
That worked really well,
that,
right?
well,
It was a very
it
effective
never,
strategy.
yeah, it was effective at some things. It made sure that I had a very small circle of friends.
So much so that when people try to be your friend, you're confused.
What do you need? What are we going to collaborate on? Um, uh, yeah, no, it did help me like not get as upset, because I understand now that people don't think or see shit or understand, like read the room, or like know what's going on in a room, or see like five different things happening at once and hear the conversation next to them and hear the conversation that they're having and have an eye on the clock at the same time. And that trying to call somebody's attention to, as I, right, for instance, right, and the visual thinking, right, because I'm seeing now in my head the man who walked in to the restaurant with a woman who was much younger than he, and his mustache was far too black, but his hair was just pure white, and it was combed back into a pompadour, and he had on like two-tone Rockford Files sunglasses.
At breakfast
And
this morning.
this was at breakfast this morning,
Wow,
and I
that's
was
a
just
lot of
like,
detail
whole, yeah, right,
about a
exactly.
thing I probably wouldn't even be like, who? What?
And when I said this to my friend Reese, he was like, what? That guy? You think that's died? I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. As somebody who is going gray, yeah, that's died. Nobody's mustache is that color. And if his hair is white, his mustache is not black. It
It's an
would be
interesting
gray
choice.
at minimum. Like, that's insane looking.
It's
And
like
it was like
it's like all the
Tony
houses they
Stark
paint now
mustache.
with white houses with black trim. He's just trying to be
Right.
like the
Exactly.
equivalent of a,
Yeah, he
a
had Tony
landlord
Stark
flip.
mustache and glasses, and then Howard Stark's white hair. Like, what are you doing, my guy? You can't. You can look weird, but you're not going to look young. That's not what's going to happen. You can get as weird as you want. You're old now, but
I mean, like we
you're
live
not going
in
to look young.
Portland. Weird is kind of the primary aesthetic.
You're not going to look young.
Like everyone looks weird in Portland, I feel like, for the most part.
It's
Maybe not
it's a
everyone, but you
thing.
see people who in other places would not look weird here because it's out of the norm for the Portland aesthetic.
I believe that to be true. I'm trying to think of an outfit that personifies what you just said.
I just know, like, I have a tattoo on my back. I only have that one. That's a whole story for another time. But in Portland, it hardly qualifies because most people here are fairly heavily tatted at this point. And I went to a wedding in outside of Atlanta a couple years ago, my cousin's wedding. I was the only person at the entire wedding with a visible tattoo. I'm almost the least tattooed person I know in Portland, Oregon. But I went to a wedding. The only person with a visible tattoo in the entire wedding of several hundred people was me. I was like, I'm not in Portland anymore.
Right.
I mean, it was a white wedding outside of Atlanta. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Well,
know enough about Georgia and that, besides the fact that probably we were at a plantation. It's probably where the wedding was.
oh, tight. That's
Yeah.
what Deadpool and his wife did.
Did
That's
they?
they got married on a plantation. Yeah.
Not the character, the actual actor.
Actual actor Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively is her name. I just thought it.
I mean, I say this sometimes, which is like, for all the years we've been talking about burning it all down, Trump has done a better job at that than all the leftists put together over the last probably century in just burning it all
Yep.
down in one fell swoop. Um, and it brings us back to like all that mythology of Americana. We're like, oh, but it's so pretty. It's like, it's pretty. It doesn't look like a torture grounds to you. It doesn't look like a death camp to you. Like, that's where you want to have your wedding? You want to have your wedding like in the middle of Auschwitz at a concentration camp?
Yeah.
I didn't say that to my cousin in the middle of his wedding ceremony. I talked about it with, other guests and family members on the side. But, I'm not, I don't know if in the middle of
Spreading
the wedding
joy.
ceremony is a place
Spreading
to
joy.
have that conversation. But it's just like
Solace, comfort, and joy.
dismantling that mythology of that's not romantic or pretty. Only if you believe in exploiting other people for power and wealth is there anything romantic about that kind of a setting.
Yeah.
And I think also the thing that he's done is just done more to rip away the facade of the mythology of America, the mythology of
quite
liberty
literally.
and freedom for all. Very literally, figuratively,
literally.
in every way in between. But I think, though it is a very painful moment to live through and it's going to cost a lot of people their lives, there is a way to take this moment of all that has been torn down, all the false masks that he's just laying. It's like the dudes walking around in DC with their faces covered. It's like, we know who you are. You're not any different than the people with the KKK in their hoods. It's an upside down hood. That's what you're wearing. And so to take down that mythology that it never was about liberty and justice and equality for all, it was about say whatever words sound nice so we can continue to extract and exploit for our benefit at everyone else's expense. And so,
and particularly from poor whites, because nobody else is even a human, right? And like, how do we extract effort and commitment to this project, right? And when I say poor whites, I don't mean impoverished people as we understand today. I'm talking about whites who are not part of the oligarchy.
You mean
like who
working lower middle class people who have RVs and TVs?
I mean, working, living people. I mean, anybody who is, if you have to walk, do you have a winter coat? You're a poor white. Rich people are never cold and never outside in the winter. So if you have a winter coat, because you have to have one, you're a poor white.
Some towns in Colorado in the winter?
Well, that's for, they have their coats are there.
Towns?
Yes, and then they have special clothes just for that stay there. There's not.
Now. What were we talking about? Were we talking about winter coats and rich people?
Well, because we were talking about the idea that the extraction, right, is a thing that that happens and the facade is gone, and I am urging through clever metaphor that and true facts that I know that I am choosing to exaggerate, because I'm sure that there are occasions when a wealthy person might put on a jacket. I don't know what it would be, because usually they're in the back of a car, in a plane. They're out long enough to walk from the exit into the building, and then they're in there. And so the idea that they're walking around with, like, what do I do with my jacket? What do I do with my hat? What do I do? It's not part of their consideration, right? They are the ones who run shit. They who need not passports to go wherever they feel like going because they're flying around on their PJs. They are the ones who decide what's happening. And so if you are anybody else in this country, whether you think you're whatever because you got $1 million and you're white, you're a poor white. If you got to drive, you're a poor white person. By the structure.
I don't think anybody with $1 million is poor, but
I'm not saying
follow your
I'm
point.
not saying relative to, you know what I'm saying, each other. I'm saying relative to the actual structure.
To the wealth they actually have.
To the wealth they bought a Supreme Court judge.
Most people don't have $1 million.
Most people can't buy a person today, like a whole one.
Somebody with $1 million could. I don't think they count as poor.
No,
but I follow
$1 million
your point.
you can't buy a whole person with $1 million.
Sure
I mean, you'd be broke after you bought them. But yeah,
No,
you could. I guess you could.
I don't think people cost that much, unfortunately.
You don't think so? How about a Supreme Court judge? I bet that costs more than $1 million.
That is not a person. That is a lever of power. Well, I mean, but it's like, and again, to bring it back to the ways I think about things like energetically, is like the whole, white supremacy of whiteness was created to be that division between indentured Irishmen and English folks and whoever, and enslaved Africans who were also just considered indentured at first, to draw that line and say, well, they're going to be in captivity forever. If you don't want that to happen to you, then you can help us exploit them. And then after you've done your duty, you'll get your just reward, And it's still that, right? It's still that same thing, that same spell that's still haunting us to this day, the same curse that's still like causing so much harm, that they're continue to replicating by refusing to see, refusing. No, I can't see you, can't hear you. No. Like it's all right there in front of your face, but you're refusing because you want to believe so bad because you still think you're going to get that reward, and there is no reward coming.
And that's where you hear these myths, and to just touch back on some of the things we began with and follow through again, right? Of there being good men who should be celebrated for Father's Day and this and that. And it's like, okay, but by definition, right, to be a good man means bad person. Like there's nothing good about what that phraseology actually means, because you're even insinuating that being a man is not in and of itself a good, like you've got to do all sorts of shit to edge your way out of that to even be innately good, such that we then categorize good man. And then the categories get so relegated to consumerism, capitalism, provision, and then there's the mythology, right? Their heads get all twisted up, get all fucked up. Well, I'm not big enough, or I'm not this enough, I'm not rich enough. If I get a bigger truck, then that'll help. If my muscles get bigger, then that'll do it. If I looks max, then that'll do it. And I'm over here in the corner like, maybe books max. Maybe you might want to try to literary max yourself. And even that, I question when I say that, right? Because it's like, well, what the fuck? Literature was a tool of the elite as well. So who am I? I certainly, while it is a tool of liberation,
it's just a tool.
If you're functionally literate, I guess that's fine. I don't know what we're going to do if they write down the plans in cursive and you got to follow me. Like, good luck. But
I mean, books, education, anything that's a tool is just a tool. What you do with it is how skilled you are and what your goal is. And then with your goal and your skills that you improve over time, if you care to, then you achieve what you're trying to achieve. But if they're just like, here's a hammer and you just hit someone in the head with it, then you just, killed them. But if you got like nails, you could build something if you wanted to hit a nail with your hammer instead of someone's head.
Somewhere while the metaphor was being tortured, I lost the soul and forgot like it just left my brain.
You're talking about
Of
books.
yeah.
And you're saying, how about
Oh yeah.
Booksmax? And there are
Yeah,
problematic books out there too. You could read The Bell Curve and Mein Kampf and a bunch
and
of
Mein Kampf.
that's books maxing on a bunch of supremacist propaganda is not going to help
Ayn Rand.
Because it is just a tool, and any tool is only as good as the goal that you set out to achieve and the skill
Bernaysian tools
with which you can wield it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're doing that, right? It's like we used to look at when Fox News first started in the 90s, we used to look at it specifically to see what the enemy was saying, right? But you would not the idea that somebody would just look at Fox News and that would, or look at any channel and that's your news source, was so far out of the scope of human thinking. I mean, we were all being fed whatever came through AP and the Associated Press and whatever. And you still had like 3 competing papers locally. You were still going to know what was going on with your local politician, with your school board. You were going to have reporters on the beat. They were actually going to be there.
There were plenty of people even back then who were not reading the newspaper. They probably were watching the evening news, but they weren't reading the newspaper.
Autistic.
You are.
Yeah, this was my mother's special interest. This really was. I
grew up in a house with a bunch of college, older college students who'd gone back to school to do master's degrees in sociology and political science and whatever. So that's what I was being fed as a child as well. But that was not everyone else's household. A lot of people were just watching maybe the evening news and then, whatever was on must-see TV.
The news was just on. Except for during sitcom hours, the news was just on.
And go watch a rerun on a different channel.
No, well now you can, but there were not other channels. There were 3. Yeah, no, they well no.
By the 90s, there was something else to watch besides the news.
By the 90s. No, we had cable. You're right. We had cable. I
did not. And even without cable, there was a rerun channel where I could go watch a rerun.
It existed and we had cable. Yes. Something. Yeah. Your local whatever it was had your reruns on it. Yeah, for sure. No, we were a TV family. The TV was always on, but the TV was on the news quite a lot. Like Sunday morning,
the news
that's all
only
it was.
On at like 6 a.m., 5 or 6 p.m., and 11 p.m.
Yep.
It wasn't 24 hours a day.
Yep. 4 to 6 p.m.
Your morning, your afternoon. Maybe there was an afternoon update.
And then you can mix it up with your PM magazine with Gary. You could look at your day coffee, your thing. Because the Today Show wasn't going to be 5 hours. Your local people were going to take care of your coffee part. They were different.
I do miss it just a little bit. The structure and the shared reality that it provided, even though it was skewed and there were many, many issues to remember, like the white supremacy and heteronormativity and all those things were very problematic.
Patriarchy.
But it did create more shared structure of reality to move through the world with other people in.
Well, yeah, we all thought we were going to get rich.
Instead of just everyone going down their own personal rabbit hole all day long and then not quite
all day
occupying the same reality with other people anymore.
All day. Well,
but here we are. The only constant is change. Well, that was a conversation about things. I guess this will be a podcast episode.
I was over here trying to circle it back to the beginning again, and I was like, yeah, well, that didn't help. That did not help. I like, you did it, I did it, and even doing that. It's a podcast about things.
So you start talking about Father's Day again. It's just like it does this moment of complete collapse and the facades of the structures falling does give us the opportunity to really invest in thinking about what do we build next instead of trying to save or salvage or recreate what has been. That was not that great for most of us. It gave enough people enough belief in either either experience of real stability or belief that they could someday with enough work achieve that stability to keep us all invested in it. But now that that's all collapsing, the opportunity that exists in that is that we can start thinking about, if these systems have all collapsed, what do we build next, right? And we're going to be doing some of that in Strategy and Solidarity, so you should come join us for the conversation. Our colleague Jamila Thompson is going to be facilitating a liberatory futures workshop to imagine
I'm looking
futures
forward to that
beyond
one.
survival. So it's going to get our brains working and getting our creativity flowing, not just to prognosticate future doom, but but to also think about what are the new things that can grow after this collapse of what we have known. And there's still time to join us for Reclaiming My Spirit, which is our 7-week series. And again, when we do trainings and things, they are more structured than this podcast. We have no script. We just come on here and talk to each other because people seem to enjoy that sometimes. I don't know if anyone listens is not a bot. I'd love to know if you're a real person and listening to this. Please let me know that you're out there and you're not a bot. But when we do trainings and workshops, we do have an agenda and objectives, exercises, and they're quite good, if I do say so myself. So we're going to be thinking about reclaiming our spirit, which is not religious or dogmatic, but like our own internal sense of truth and wisdom and connection to the divine, whatever that means to you. We're going to be talking about managing our energy through challenging times, about holding healthy boundaries and navigating challenges, about discerning next steps when the path is unclear. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. I hope you come join us.
Yeah, it should be really good. Should be really good.
And you can still register for conflict resolution for anti-fascists. We got another live workshop coming up at the end of the month for that one. And your nervous system versus fascism, which we'll be hosting again live on August 5th. But both of those are available on demand right now. You could sign up today, watch the recording, think about it, then come back to the live session and ask us questions there. Or wait till it's live and come join us there and ask us questions. Either way, we'd love to see you in the virtual room, asynchronously, live in the workshop with us. Whatever way, we do actually want to be in community with you, dear listener. StrategyandSolidarity.org.
Take advantage, please. Use the tools. This podcast, for those who don't know, was born of our working and facilitating and offering trainings and workshops together over a period of time, some period of time. I don't even know how long now. Yeah, this is what it's like behind the stage and behind the scenes and all of that. But would love to engage in the origins and the focused thinking around these ideas with you. Your ideas are what fuel our ideas, and whether we want to be or not, we're
not stealing
connected.
People's ideas, though. They're not fueling
Fuel.
us, and like we don't steal them.
Okay.
A lot of people steal ideas nowadays. So the way you said that was just like, well, we're not stealing. We're not taking other people's ideas and speaking them. Like these are the products of our own brains. But we like to be in conversation with people other than each other, because at some point
it turns into this.
Yeah. Doing neurodivergence. Come
without AI.
Come to Strategy and Solidarity. Tell us how you navigate the 4th of July and how you navigate neurodivergence. I want to know both things.
Okay, now I got to write that. Hold on.
You don't have to write it down.
It's going to be in the notes. Yeah, I know, but
they know how to find us at strategyandSolidarity.org.
Okay. And how you do, what's the other thing? Just tell me.
Navigating the 4th of July.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it.
Neurodivergence is what I said.
Hey, this has been a podcast.
You never let me just be smooth and say a thing. You always got to jump in and like make it extra awkward. You can never just let it go.
Was trying to make it a thing that I can put in the show notes so that people can
Thank you for doing the admin work
us.
out loud for everyone to hear. That's my favorite part of the podcast.
It's not very administrative. In fact, I sometimes can't even read my own writing after. I don't know.
Do you want to read your
Anyway,
outro script now?
do I? Yes. Oh, I do. I do. What I want to say is thank you to everybody at strategyandSolidarity.org for making this here venture possible. Thank you to everybody who was listening. Thank you to our good friend Imani Will for the intro and outro music. Love of the Earth. Hey, today's Tuesday, and it's not too late because that's when we're recording it. But when you hear it on Thursday, you can go to strategyandSolidarity.org, and guess what you could do? You could go and you could see our good friend Crystal Briscoe do Teach-In Tuesday. Tune-In Tuesday. Teach-In Tuesday.
Tune in. We'll be on hiatus next week because Crystal will be out of town, but she'll be back the next 2 weeks in July, the 21st.
But from this
28th.
week, you can see the one from today. You could go look at it if you want.
Fabulous.
If you want, you should. I'm gonna. And that's all the stuff.
All right. Take good care of yourselves out there.